Hello and welcome. This is Mouse Gunner, and we're back with some more Motorsport Manager. And the last race we had was the best performance of the season so far, and we've gone beyond the halfway point. So we finished 2nd and 6th in the last race, getting our first podium. So that has helped us quite a bit in the team standings. The downside of that is our drivers have actually moved up in the driver standings, and the way the rules for our series work is that means that we are going to have worse pole position in the upcoming race, which is going to be Guilford. And top speed, medium speed corners, and high speed corners are all crucial for this upcoming race. It is predicted to be sunny on the race day and cloudy during practice. All right, so with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at our email. So mostly we're going to need to repair cars. It's going to take 12 hours, so we might as well progress to that point. Now that we have our car repairs done, it looks like we may have a sponsor up. Yes, we do. Now, we still have our 4th or above sponsor and our 16th or above, so this is more than likely going to be a 1st or 2nd or above. We can take a look at it, but I usually like to wait until we get our 3rd offer. So more than likely what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the most upfront cash, because I think 2nd or above is kind of unrealistic, even though we did just achieve that in our last race. I think it's much safer to pick the 4th or above sponsor that we already have. So upfront cash is going to be the main concern there. So we'll wait to get the 3rd sponsor and then we'll go from there. Okay, now that we have the car repaired, though, we can improve parts. And at this point, we're at 57% with this new gearbox. I think we'll probably be safe with 17 days to go 10-10. We can always change that later. But, I feel like we'll get above 60% for sure and probably be close to 70%, which is starting to get into the acceptable range that we can use that part. As far as improvement goes, I'm more or less happy with what improvement we're doing. We're going to need top speed, so we are improving that. I guess you could make an argument for turning off the improvement of the brakes or the gearbox, as that is not as important as the suspension will be at this point. So actually, let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to turn off the brakes and the gearbox for now, and instead we will start improving the suspension. And I think as far as improving reliability, we might as well turn this off, because that is, we could always turn it over to the other suspension. What else do we have? So most things are round about the 80% mark, except for really only a couple instances. So we could probably improve the reliability of our wings. So rear wing is going to be important for this upcoming race. So I'll just improve one for now, and then we'll switch off a few days down the line. So that's probably what we're going to do. So we'll see after a few days what kind of improvement we're getting on our reliability and whether or not we should change up our strategy. All right, well, let's go ahead and advance time. Not much else to do, although we could invest in... Just got some scouting reports here. We could invest in our headquarters now, although we would have a lot of... that would put us quite a bit in the negative, and it's... I'm not sure if it's likely that we'll be able to get into the positive by the time the season ends. But, honestly, I don't have much else to spend money on, so why don't we go ahead and do the one thing I've been wanting to do, which is upgrade our design center. That's going to take 20 weeks, so I think it's a good idea to get on that. And it will help us for next season, because that does reduce the number of days it takes to design a part. And it also unlocks a number of other buildings that we don't currently have access to. So let's go ahead and do that. It's £8 million, so it's a fair amount of money, but out of curiosity, forecasting would be $7 million to upgrade, so I'm not going to do that. Although that does, give us quite a bit of an advantage, because you know exactly what's going to happen. I would imagine once you get this full up, you have pretty much a guarantee of what the weather's going to be. I don't think that's worth the investment right now. I prefer to go after the design center, and that does seem to be the one area that we are weak in comparatively. Staff and brand, we don't have much on, but that's because we can't build anything until we upgrade our design center, so we might as well do that upgrade. That's going to put us quite a bit in the red. Oh, wait, this type of spending is simply unacceptable. Okay, so we can't go that far in the red, so never mind about that. I guess we're just going to go ahead and advance. And we'll advance to this race weekend, which time show pause. And then after that, we can go ahead and take a look at our reliability. So we've gotten most of our parts above 80%. As I said, we're probably going to be around the 70% range if I keep the improvement the way it is, which might be a good idea. We'll have to see. We can go ahead and cancel that part and start improving the other rear wing a little bit. And we'll have that go for a few more days. And then at that point, I might decide to go full reliability so we can get that gearbox up. We'll just have to see. In any case, let's go ahead and do that. Have this event finish. And we'll go a few more days here. Okay. Releasing an album. So Boris is got a little bit of marketability that we can take advantage of, which is good because we now have more sponsorship things that we can take. We're still only on 3 stars though. All right, so we're pretty much full up on the sponsor offers, and it looks like this one, the 3-star one, is the best one because it gives us the most upfront cash. It also gives us the most bonus per race, but you know, second or above is not quite guaranteeable at this point. But the upfront cash is the best. The only downside is it lasts longer, so we could take this to try and renew something, but this sponsor is always going to be an upper tier sponsor. It's always going to be looking for second or above or even first. So it doesn't really matter, I think. We'll just take the upfront cash. So the one thing I don't really know is how far into the red the game lets you get. Because I know it lets you go pretty far into debt, but obviously it doesn't let you go 7 million or however much in debt. All right, well, let's go ahead and take a look at the parts here. So we're up to 84% with this gearbox. We could probably cancel that. And we're up to 83% here. With 7 days to go, I think I am going to change my strategy up here a little bit. So we're going to go full on to reliability. Maybe only do that for a few days, but I just want to make sure we get this thing so that it can be reliable enough. And I guess I'll start improving our other wing here, the front wing, so we can get that up in reliability, and we'll go from there. I'm probably going to have that happen in a few days, but I want to make sure we're good to go. Ooh, we are fifth now in car ratings, so that's good, and we're 4th in driver ratings. I wonder if somebody got an injury because we haven't done anything with our drivers, although we have maybe improved some stats through those kind of, engine cooling issues is going to cost us cash. Yeah, it's too close to the race weekend, so we're just going to have to eat the money. It always happens right before the race, it seems like, so you don't have enough time to make up the reliability, which, you know, sucks, obviously, but it is what it is. So we'll go until this event pauses things naturally, and we'll take a look at our parts now. So we're at 73%. I think we'll go back to 10 to 10 here, and I will cancel the current things we're working on because they're decent. Let me switch over to the rear wing again, and might as well work on the suspension because that's something that's going to play a part in this race. We're decent on the reliability with our engines. Maybe a little bit of improvement for this engine would be nice. But looking pretty good, I would say, for the most part. I guess our brakes aren't as reliable as they could be, but for now, I'm happy with this setup. Let's go ahead and continue here. So hopefully we've improved our engines and our suspension up a little bit. The engine's going to be key because most of the rest of the races for the rest of the season are going to need top speed, so it'd be nice to improve that. Let's go ahead and continue until we get to the race weekend. At this point, I think we've improved things as much as we're going to. All right. So let's see what we've got. We're going to have another vote coming up, which we've already taken a look at. I just want to see when exactly that's happening. It's going to happen in a week, so it's going to happen after the race. It's not saying if it's going to benefit us or not. And again, I haven't really taken a look at the financial breakdown to see how much our tires are costing us now. Let's see. Car parts, drivers, race mechanics, designer, travel costs. And there's not really... Set budget to... With this button, you can choose how much money per race you want to save towards next year's car. Oh, that's interesting. I mean, it's already automatically kind of doing that for us, so I don't really feel like... So it's not really telling me any car part things. And I'm not sure what else that would be under. I'm assuming it would not be under travel costs. Oh, there you go, tire type. So right now our tire type's only costing us $10,000. So that's actually doubling the cost. $20,000 per race. I don't know what tire type we're currently using, though, so that might actually be an improvement. I might vote for it. Why not? All right. Well, it's good to know. Let's go ahead and continue, though, on to the race weekend. So we're going to try and go for the 4th or above again. And part fitting we're going to have to do. Now, currently, Boris is using the best brakes. And... we could have him use the best gearbox, but that means that he has more risk on his car. That means Mustafa is not going to have any risk, so he'll never get demoted. Or we could even out the risk and have both of them have a risk of being demoted. Well, if we keep things as is, Boris is happy, and Mustafa is content. If we switch it this way, it's the other way around. Or we could do this. And that would be fine. It makes Boris' car have more performance, but makes it more likely he'll get caught. On the other hand, what I could do is currently I have Mustafa using the best suspension. What I could do is I could give him the best gearbox, even out that risk again, and then switch it so that we have Boris using the best suspension. And considering that suspension is more important for this race, that's probably the best call as far as that goes. So we're looking at Boris is using the best brakes. He's using the best engine. He's not using the best gearbox because we gave that to Mustafa to even out the risk, because we have low risk here and we have low risk here for the brakes. And then on the wing, it doesn't really matter. And then we have the suspension, so we're giving Boris the best suspension. So I think that's probably what I'm going to do. I mean, there's a dramatic difference between these two parts. So we're giving quite a bit of a boost as far as acceleration goes to Mustafa over Boris. But again, I think that's evening out the risk. There is a chance, though, that both of them will get caught and both of them will be demoted. So that's kind of a risk we play as well. And out of my own curiosity here, does that increase our overall car rankings? It does. So we now moved up to 4th overall as far as cars, and we're 3rd overall in acceleration, 5th in suspension, 5th in brakes, and 5th in engine. So we definitely have improved the cars. Now, we've done that at the risk of getting caught for rule breaking, but it is what it is. Okay, so we've done both things. We've got our sponsor. We've got our part fitment. All right, let's go ahead and go into the race. And it's time to run the practice. So I'm hoping with that dramatic improvement with our gearbox, we will see better performance from our cars. And we have been improving both our engines and our suspension, although not wholesale doing that, which should help us for this race as well. Okay, so as far as our forecast is predicted to be sunny for as far as we can see. And we're going to be using Shen and Mustafa here because Shen continues to have better feedback than Boris. And as far as the tire compounds, well, let's go ahead and change the setup here first. All right, so as far as downforce goes, top speed is crucial, but also cornering was crucial. So this seems to have be a track that has a combination of both, some tight corners we can see in here, but also some nice straights here and here. and possibly here too. So both considerations are important. I think I'm going to go a little bit higher on the downforce, but not a lot higher. Maybe something like that. And then as far as handling goes, it looks like we need to really stiffen that up. Maybe even stiffen it as far as it will go. And then it looks like we also need to bring the top speed up quite a bit, which is also going to help our handling. So this is going to be my initial setup for now. And I'm going to go with soft tires here, just to see how they perform on this track. And let's go ahead and confirm that. And then we'll run super softs in Mustafa. So I'm fine with that tire choice. Again, downforce, I'm going to go a little bit more, but not a lot. Something like that, maybe. And then as far as the handling goes, again, we're going to have to stiffen up that suspension. And we have to go the other way with the acceleration here. I'm going to leave it here for now. And we'll just kind of see maybe something like that. We'll see how that performs. And we're going to keep with the super softs because I want to see how those perform as far as tire temperatures and everything. I mean, it's a fairly warm day. We'll see. Take the practice. Okay, so we'll just send both cars out at this point. And send out. And away we go. Alright. Well, cars seem decently fast so far. And this part, I believe Mustafa probably have a little bit of advantage over Boris's car just because of that greater acceleration. Okay, so he wants longer gear ratios. The handling, I think it said the handling was good, but I missed that because the messages came up at the same time. So far in practice, we're 7th and 8th, but we haven't really gone that far into the practice. So this should be... Okay, downforce is looking good, so we're good there. I like seeing that because... Alright, so we're good on the downforce with both cars. So that makes me happy because that means that we have less to worry about. Downforce can be kind of tricky sometimes to get dialed in. But I think I've gotten kind of the hang of it. So far we've got 5th and 10th, actually 6th now. Okay, handling is good, so I'm happy with that. I need a bit more acceleration. Okay, so we needed more top speed for Mustafa, more acceleration for Shen's car, so that's good to know. Let's switch over to Mustafa because his car is a little bit further ahead. And here we go. So we're excellent, great, okay. That's actually very good. So we don't have to make that many changes, honestly. He said he wanted longer gearing, I believe, if I remember correctly. So we're going to go a little bit in that direction. And then we didn't change the handling too much, but let's see if we can maybe shift it back where it was. There we go. That looks about right. So we'll see if this improves it. If it doesn't, then we'll make some more changes. But 89%, that's really, really, really good. So that's pretty much going to be it. I'll keep them out on the same tires. I did not pay that much attention to the tire temperatures, I must admit. So I'm not exactly sure what they were running at. Okay, so we're excellent, good, okay. Again, very good. I'm getting much better at getting the cars dialed in on first go. Now, from what she said, she wanted more acceleration rather than top speed, so we'll just back that off a little bit, and then we'll try and get the handling dialed back into where it was. So just a slight shift. We're at 87%. Again, very good. Hopefully we can get it to be better. As far as tire temperatures go, it looked like it was a little bit on the neutral side, but I'm not positive, because again, I wasn't watching that. I'll try and watch that more closely from here on out, especially as I already know most things are dialed in. We're just looking at speed balance for both cars, and I've made the changes that they suggested. Let's see if that indeed works for us. So Mustafa's out. We'll keep an eye on his tire temps. We've got 5 minutes out there. That's pretty good. Pretty good amount of time. Alright, so tire temps look like they're running maybe slightly warm. And that was kind of the impression I got when I did manage to go over and look at Shen. but only maybe slightly warm. Okay, so he's happy with the gear ratios. We move that in the right direction. Handling we already knew about. We'll see if we get comment on the gearing in her car. So Mustafa's car is more than likely going to be above 90% as far as the optimization. So we actually have a really good shot at doing well in this race. So I'm happy to see that. Okay, we knew about that. Aero good. We're mostly waiting to hear from Shen how she feels about the gearbox. We've only got less than a minute to hear that, so hopefully we hear it soon. Again, tire temps look like they're running slightly warm, but the soft tires seem like they're running neutral for the most part. So, okay, perfect gear ratio. So it looks like we're going to be good with both cars. So we kind of got a good idea of... So we're an excellent, great, good at this point, and excellent, good, good. So that is fantastic. You couldn't ask for better. Well, hopefully that is a good indicator that we'll do well in this particular race. We finished 8th and 15th in the practice from what I saw. We'll have to see if that is indeed the case. Yeah, not too bad. I'm surprised Mustafa did so much better than Shen did. Now, some of that could be just driver talent. Boris is going to be a better driver than Shen, but some of it also could be the super soft tires that were run. So that might be partly why, but it is a gap of about a little over a second between the two cars. So, all right, well, in any case, let's go ahead and start setting some things up here. Oh, we have rain, even though it was projected to be sunny. All right, well, so much for that projection. I am assuming... Ooh, the rain's going to be off and on, too. That sucks. So that means it's going to be wet for most of the time. So we're probably going to be running intermediates, even though for whatever reason it has super softs on us. I mean, you can see the water gets in there pretty good. So that is not a good idea to run super softs, in my opinion. All right, well, let's go ahead and get our bonuses. So we're going to do race trim, and we're going to do the refueling bonuses. And then over with Mustafa's car, we're going to be running the race trim and the risk taker bonuses. As far as the car setup goes, we don't need to change anything other than the tires, which I am going to switch to intermediates. Now, we might get complaints immediately, but there is even water on the track, so I really don't know why it has me set up with super softs, because I think the amount of water we're seeing on this track is bad for dry tires. Now, it might get dry enough in that one bit of sunny weather that we may have some problems with intermediates, but then it's going to go right back on to being wet again. So I think it's a really bad idea to run soft tires or dry tires, as it were. So we're going to be running intermediates. We're going to, of course, fuel up and confirm. This could be one of those things where the tire choice I'm doing could be a mistake. I'll kind of think about it because we're going to be taking a break at this point once I choose the driving style, which I'm probably going to go with push here because we're going to start off cool. And because we know the nature of how things were on this track as far as practice goes, where things kind of tended to run neutral for soft tires, well, intermediates are technically harder tires than that. So they're going to run more on the cool side. And we're going to already start cool. And with the rain, temperatures temperatures are looking about the same. So maybe that won't play in. But in any case, I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. This is Mouse Gunner signing out.